You've seen the thumbnail. I'm not allowed to move, jump, shoot, or anything. The only thing I'm allowed to do is press the Grappleshot button. Yes, it's on easy, but if you stick around, you'll see how interesting this run is anyway. This is the Halo Infinite only Grappleshot challenge. Let's get through this first mission quick, okay? Actual enemy encounters are gonna be interesting later in the run, once they're actually hard, but for now, you can just look at this clip and multiply it by the amount of brutes in the level. It's not that exciting. Here, you can see why I didn't name this video, Can You Beat Halo Infinite with Only One Button? Because 343 is obsessed with making you press E to confirm things every 3 minutes. I can't do the level skip because I'm not allowed to melee, so we have to do this room. It shows me that easy is definitely the right difficulty for this challenge. It took me a fair 30 minutes and a few attempts to do this encounter, and it's only the first level. Anyway, we can damage these things that I need to destroy by just smashing Chief's body into them, so we don't need to stand here spamming the Grappleshot to break them. Yet. The escape section isn't too bad until the end of the section that's over the huge pit. Here, the final platform's hitbox for the Grappleshot is misplaced, so you can't grapple onto the platform. And when you do, it flings you way up for some reason, and it's very hard to judge where you're gonna go. I was hoping the limited movement wouldn't cause many issues during the run, but there are more instances of stuff like this than I'd like. Anyway, I get by with a lucky grapple here, and make it to the second level. Generic Forerunner mission number 1 isn't too bad until I notice these bridges. These Portal 2-ass bridges aren't able to be grappled, but lucky enough, they're short enough to just go across anyway. Good thing these bridges aren't gonna get any longer ever. So anyway, next up, here's a longer bridge. I can't make it over, but I somehow managed this pixel-perfect grapple to land on this corner, and then barely make it over to the other side without walking. Nice. A few easy encounters later, and I'm at another bridge. This time, the place I need to get to is in the middle of the room, and there is nothing to grapple from where I am. I try to fling myself across, and it doesn't quite work. I manage to Spider-Man my way to the other side of the room, and notice this structure on the ceiling. I give it a few goes and figure out that grappling without directional influence makes things a lot harder than they need to be. Eventually I nail it though, and sigh with relief. Now just stop with these bridges, please. The game listens to my plea, and the rest of the level is just some pretty easy cleanup. The bosses will be very interesting later, but Tremonious definitely isn't one of them. The bridges earlier were tougher than him. The third level isn't much. I upgrade my Grappleshot so I can electrocute enemies and reduce the cooldown, but it's just killing guys again. I'll explain my strategies and stuff once the encounters are actually harder and interesting. Once I get into the open world, I run around and upgrade to the Big Punch ability, which should make things a lot easier. Except, I forgot that you need to input melee to use it. So I'm not going to be using this ability at all, and I will not be upgrading anything else with Spartan cores. I didn't want to upgrade my shields because I was already on easy. Speaking of easy, the next mission, haha!
Hi there.
It's no problem at all. The boss is easy because I have eagle eyes and don't need any threat sensors. Hey, remember these things from the first level, and how I couldn't damage them with my body? Well, get this, how funny would it be if I wasn't able to do that? I had to spam it with the grapple for like 20 minutes, and then I had to do 8 of them. I think that would be hilarious. Thank God I bought a wireless mouse the day before I recorded this, because I just went over to my bed and watched some videos while spamming mouse 4. I did manage to get 2 of them destroyed by this shade turret guy, so that was nice. Bassus? More like Assus. Anyway. Time for generic Forerunner mission number 2. The main draw of this level is the introduction of the Skimmers. I don't know what's wrong with these guys, but Chief will 95% of the time just punch too early to kill them. So any encounter with these guys is just going to be extra annoying because I need to play the lottery on if I'll kill them, they zip around everywhere, and they hold a gun that can one-hit me without shields. Thankfully, this whole time I've kept a sword in my back pocket, and for one good reason. The sword will actually do a full lunge and use ammo at the end of a grapple. I intended to use this for bosses to speed them up, but in reality my backup sword just turned into my fly swatter, because it would actually kill these guys reliably. Okay, we're getting to the point where individual encounters are meaningful. These two chieftains have surprisingly good aim from the entire room, even when grappling around if you're not careful. Just get 1 or 2 hits on their armor before running away, and eventually one of them will go down. Even on easy, it takes a while. Then, the second one will fall with no problem. The next section seemed intimidating for one very, very good reason. I learned something that I should have thought about earlier. What do I do against vehicles? With my rules, once I get in a vehicle, all I can do is look around. No shooting, no moving, and no getting out, because I'm not forced to press E by the game. So I'm not going to. So I need to rely on other enemies hitting me back off the vehicle. But then, the vehicle isn't dead, it has an enemy in it again. So, how do I deal with this problem? I'll let you stew on that one the way I had to, because I figured out you can just go around and skip to the hunter fight. The only thing with these guys, and it's important everywhere, but especially against hunters, is that you should run away before you think you need to. Your first grapple may not actually get you out of view, and then you're just standing there like an ass. So give yourself some leeway. Luckily, you can pretty consistently grapple these guys if you shoot their right foot, your left. I take him down and head into the spire. I follow the monitor and head into this room with a super long bridge I can't cross. Thankfully, I have the upgraded grapple cooldown now, so basically any gap means nothing. So I just go up here and that's a soft lock. I reset the level and try again. I make it this time and make my way to the worst part of the run. Adjutant Resolution cannot be grappled. Other only Grappleshot runs on YouTube used a trick where you ground pound near him and it does damage. My run doesn't allow that because I can't input melee, and I wasn't about to change my rules mid-run. I had to beat him by slowly pinging him with 0.1 damage each hit. I'm not exaggerating, it was 25 minutes into my first real attempt before I noticed that I was actually doing any damage. Until then, I was just hoping I was. So on easy, this fight might not seem so bad, but the attack he does from his bottom guns can kill you in one volley, which is entirely possible when you can't walk. Also, his melee attack will kill you if you have no shields, which can easily happen after his other attack, which is just a ton of plasma bullets. Now, I'm not saying this was a crazy difficult fight, I'm saying it required just enough focus that I couldn't enjoy listening to anything else while doing it. I would get distracted for a second, and if it was the wrong second, whoops, there goes a 45-minute attempt. Eventually, I hunkered down and spread one 4-hour attempt over an evening, and managed to take him down with only the pings from my Grappleshot. And if you don't believe me, here's all 4 hours of it as an unlisted video. Screw you. Good thing this game doesn't reuse any bosses, right? Pelican Down. Back to the open world. Should be fun again, right? Oh wait, after every encounter I need to spend 15 minutes spamming these things again. Woo! It's a good thing the encounters under the AA guns aren't necessary, or I mean I would have to have fun between bouts of spamming these things with the Grappleshot, and that would be awful. So, remember how required vehicle kills were something I had no clue how to deal with? Well, it's time to figure it out, because we got a brute boss in a chopper that one-hits me. Let's go over my ideas in order. At first, I somehow hoped that on easy I would be able to survive in a vehicle blowing up. I managed to be in it once at high-ish shields with it blowing up, but I still died, so I didn't think it would work. It was hard to set anything up because his chopper is easily able to outrun me and kills me Halo CE style on any contact. Then, I had this guy jump on the chopper while I was in it, but he died. But if it worked, it would let me kill Hyperius while he wasn't in the chopper. So, I tried to hijack him while near the other brute, and I got this kinda close attempt. Then, I got this even closer one. Then, I got this one where I got him out, but I was sideways, so I got immediately ejected. The chopper was upside down now, so he wouldn't get back in. This was my chance. Yeah, there's an empty ghost there too that a grunt hopped into. After that, I did manage to get the other brute in the chopper, but that's also not a good idea, as you see here. Alright, what else do we have in this footage? Oh, yeah. Even if you get him out of the chopper, he can get into the ghost too, not just the grunts. I tried to get friendly fire to kill the empty chopper while he was in the ghost, so I wouldn't have to worry about it, but I got splattered. Eventually, I got that to work by hijacking him in this area where his ghost wouldn't get me, and then I was able to destroy it. At this point, I ran away and managed to get a checkpoint. An hour of work, and so far I have managed to swap him from a chopper to a ghost. Nice. Now though, I can set my master plan in motion. I set myself up here and bait him to splatter me. Then, I hope I flip over, and I do. Now there are no usable vehicles, and it is just a normal encounter after fishing for another checkpoint. So that's how I deal with vehicles. Simple, right? A quick pop and I'm done. Now I'm finally back in the open world, and I finally can use Banshees, which means my movement across the ring isn't going to suck anymore. You don't need to hit any buttons to fly them, I can just point and go. Then, I'll just have some helpful enemies with disruptors flip me over and let me out. I head into the first of 4 buildings easily, and then I headed to the next one. This one had me sweating a little bit because I saw 2 ghosts outside. Thankfully, the AI literally just chose to hop out, and I took advantage of that. Some quick fly swatting, and I was on my way. The third building I needed to go into isn't as kind though. So how do I kill wraiths? When I grapple onto them, I just hang on like this and do nothing like an idiot. I take a second to think of some stupid friendly fire strategy that I could use to kill the wraith, but while I'm experimenting, I find something out. When grappled to a wraith, pressing the grapple button again actually still does a punch. I'm not pressing the melee button here, it just works. So I find that out and I'm ecstatic. And then the next attempt, the enemies just get out of the wraith before I even touch it. And the other one is too far away to block me hacking the building open. So I didn't need to kill any wraiths anyway. That's cool. Real quick, can any lore people in the comments tell me what this symbol is? It looks like the Mantle of Responsibility icon, but I can tell it's different. Please enlighten me. Anyway, outside the 4th building is just some hunters, so we don't have to worry about that. We've done them before. Let's say goodbye to the open world and head into the Command Spire. Generic Forerunner mission number 3 was very similar to 1 and 2. The gondola ride was easy, somehow standing here I survived the whole way down without moving at all. I barely made it out without dying though. A quick hop across a bridge and I learned that I can grapple sentinels. Thank God. Slightly more interesting Forerunner mission was very easy until I got to what we were all looking forward to. Adjutant Resolution 2. This time he has some different attacks. His top arms do basically no damage at all. His bottom ones do a lot more damage though. The strategy I used was to purposefully get rid of all the cover, because he would use it more than me this fight. Then, I could face tank his top attack whenever it came up, and move opposite to him when he does his bottom attack, because he will sweep in one direction. This one was actually easier than the first fight. It still took me around the same amount of time, but I feel like I was doing more damage, so he probably has a bit more health. I didn't check. Anyway, the people who have played this game before know that this refight wasn't actually going to be the hardest part of the run. It's what happens directly after. Phantoms. 3 of them. I have two ways of dealing with them, possibly. First, I can stand perfectly at the edge and sometimes be able to hit them. Or, I can risk a jump out to them and land on top. This seems good until you realize that I'm not allowed to reposition at all, so eventually I'm going to fall off. So the only way to deal damage is slowly picking away at them. I spent a good hour doing it one day before deciding to test if it's actually possible before doing the real attempt, because I was a bit worried. Yes, I shot stuff and moved around here. I would have done it on another save if 343 let me select a goddamn mission a year after release. Anyway, I do some rough tests to see if I can get it down to low and then finish it off with the grapple. You don't get a checkpoint until all 3 phantoms are dead, so I was safe to kill this first one for testing. I was able to get the phantom consistently low, but I could never get the kill shot with the grapple. Then I have a brain blast. I remember watching Halo Infinite Mythbusters, shout out to Defend the House, I've been watching you since the Halo 3 days, and they said that vehicles in Halo Infinite have very slight health regen for some reason. This was sad news because it meant that this was impossible. Little did I know it was impossible in a completely different way. I know this because I downloaded the community-made Halo Infinite mod tool and decided I was gonna get rid of the vehicle health regen and do it anyway without it. I was ready to do that one mod and then grind these phantoms for hours. But then, I noticed something. There was no health regen. Well, okay, so why wasn't I able to kill it? I set the health of the phantom to 0.1. The amount I found out that the grapple hook does by default. I did that and then nothing happened to the phantom with the grapple. It would die in one hit to anything else. Even the impact of a frag grenade would do it, but it would not respond to the grapple. I try setting the health to 0.01. For reference, the phantom normally has 2900 health. So at 1/100th of a health point, I saw that I could kill the phantom in a consistent 10 shots of the grapple. Let me tell you what that means. With no health regen, it is possible to kill these phantoms with only a grapple shot. The issue is that I deal 0.001 damage to the phantom. This would require 2.9 million hits of my grapple shot to take down one phantom. If I was somehow able to frame perfectly hit the phantom every about half a second, it would take 17 days of non-stop perfect gameplay to kill one phantom. That doesn't include anything outside of gaming, or even running away to heal, or the fact that 70% of the time, the phantoms are too far away to hit anyway. So, with 50 days of literal, sleepless perfection required, I decided this was impossible. To do quickly, I have been recording this video since the game came out, and I have finally beaten these phantoms. 5.7 million hits got nothing on me. No, I'm kidding. That would be ridiculous. I'm gonna do a 365-day long stream to beat this. Subscribe and smash the bell to not miss it. Okay, no, I'm not doing that either. Real stream announcement at the end of the video, though. Anyway, I just shot them. I'm not mad that I failed here. It makes for a fun story. Let's keep going, though. There are plenty of unexpected roadblocks ahead.
Well, I guess that's done. We're safe. For now.
Generic Forerunner mission number 4 was gonna be a walk in the park, until I ran into this guy. He has a shield I can't grapple. I try running by, but you need to hack this terminal, and you need to kill this sentinel to do that. Friendly fire doesn't work because of how the sentinels spread out, so I got desperate and just started spamming it with the grapple once it was the only one left. While I was doing that, I had this happen. So I think there's a literal 1% chance of this happening. I think it's a 10% chance to have the Sentinel do a reaction to the grapple, and then 10% of those times it'll do the shock. So, I just need to react quick once I get it, and I am able to finally hack this thing after 47 minutes. The Brute Chieftain fights later in the level weren't bad at all because I had mastered the Spider-Man strats by now. There were 2 more of the shield guys that were required, but they weren't above a pit this time, so it was just a straight D100 roll, and not a D100 roll where you die if you don't react fast enough. After that, it's pretty easy until House of Reckoning. I just go down the side of the road, you can avoid everything here, into the second last mission. I love this mission. The basic training encounter isn't too bad, I think I got it first try, but the advanced training is where the real stuff is. This was easily the hardest non-boss encounter in the game, so I'll go into it a little bit. The first wave is full of Needlers. They have a surprisingly long range and can track, so you won't have many healing opportunities. Just kill them all as quick as you can. The Grunts take 2 hits because they're shielded. Because of this, you want to leave Skirmishers as the last few enemies. The next wave overlaps with this one when you have a few enemies left, and you don't want these guys around later annoying you. So, make sure to know where the last few enemies are when the next wave comes and clear them out fast. Then, you want to head down in front of the exit to the room. This is because there are now 4 Berserking Brutes, and 4 Brute Snipers. Over here, the Snipers are least likely to kill you, and only 2 of the Berserkers should notice you. If you're adept with the grapple by now, you should be able to dance around 2 Berserkers on easy if you're careful. Just not 4. So, take the 2 that come at you down, and then move over here to aggro the next 2. Take them down, and this will cause the next wave to spawn. Be on high alert now, Kamikaze Grunts have spawned. Take down the 4 Snipers as quick as you can before the next wave can post up in their positions. Now, you need to bait the Kamikaze Grunts but not die. It's surprisingly easy to die to them. There's a lot of them, and dying sends you back to the very start of the encounter. Then, you just need to clean up the Jackals and focus on the 2 big guys. These Red Hunters aren't pushovers like the normal ones we've seen so far. Both of these guys on top of you can bring you down to no shields very quickly, and then, even when you grapple away, they can use a pretty rapid-fire shot to get you if your grapple angle wasn't good. Take your time so you don't need to try the other parts again, and eventually you'll get one of them down. One enraged one is just as strong as 2 of them normally, so don't let your guard down, and eventually you'll get it. This encounter took me a while, but it was super awesome to puzzle out. Mr. Definitely Didn't Die and is going to be in the DLC wasn't bad at all, but now for the real fight. Escharum had the same issue the Skimmers have. Chief would punch well before he reached him. It wasn't as bad as the Skimmers, I'd say about 20% of the time I got a hit in, and you could get it consistently if you went from above. Eventually, his shield goes up and you need to destroy these things. Chief's body can't hit them, so I need to wiggle around in front of them, hoping to bait enough shots into it to destroy it, running away once my health is low. I got into a pattern with this and was able to get him down to his hammer phase. I died immediately. Doing the slow first phase all over again, but this time with as much sword ammo as possible, I died immediately. I died quite a few times to his hammer phase, needing to spend 20 minutes zipping around the first phase to try it again. Eventually I found this strategy, of staying up here and going down for 1 hit at a time. I got him down to 1 or 2 hits, I couldn't even see his health bar, and this happens. Thankfully the next try I get him down. That was a slog. The first phase got very boring, but the final level is here. It's time for the epic final level, Generic Forerunner Mission number 5, with some awesome gold accents. Like the rest of these missions, they're just normal encounters, at least until I get to the final boss. I kill the first wave, and I freak out when I see this. No, I can't be here for hours again, just spamming grapple. Please no. Thankfully, I still had my Fly Swatter, which in the end was useful for a boss. because it actually does its lunge at the end of the grapple, I was able to damage the Harbinger. The second wave was easy, and I got a second hit in after having her teleport 1,000,000 times. After 24 hours of gameplay, I used the last of the sword ammo to kill the final boss of Halo Infinite. Then, I reloaded over here and killed the Harbinger to end this challenge. It may not technically have been a victory, but honestly, I feel satisfied with this run. Stay tuned, eventually I'll get that Halo Reach video out, but I think my next video won't be it either though. Something different's coming next. For now though, to keep you all satiated, I'll be doing another stream on Friday, October 21st. I'll announce what I'll be streaming a few days before through a community post, but it will be a new Halo mod, so come stop by. The last stream was fantastic, we had a lot of people come out. So anyway, thanks to anybody who enjoyed the whole video, and to anybody asking, yes, the challenge was actually ruined in the first level by the crouching tutorial, but you can just shut up, okay?